Would you like to see the alignments and the aspects we're talking about this week? Well, check out the weekly overview on the funastrology.com YouTube channel. A picture really is worth 1,000 words. You know, I just counted up that we've done 6 of these together since we started this podcast, 9/11. And it just always, whenever I start this podcast, I get emotional. And I know, let us never forget, right? I mean, it just, so many lives lost that day, and it puts into perspective even what we do here. But we are going to look at the sky together. But let's just take a moment. I'm going to do like 5 seconds, and let's just pause and remember, especially the families and the kids whose moms and dads never came home that night. May we never forget. And may the memory of this day always motivate us to live our highest timeline. We can always put good out into the world. Hi, everybody. Thomas Miller on the Fun Astrology Podcast. Thank you for joining us today. We do have things in the sky, and we have a big report from Alisa Dixon about the aspect du jour tomorrow, which is the Sun squaring Jupiter. It happens early, so we're going to hear from Alisa today. Now, today is mostly clear until tonight. The first thing that happens is 10 till 7 tonight Eastern, when Mercury finally gets back to where it was when it went retrograde last month. And then right there at 8:20 Eastern, so just a wee bit later, we have the last aspect before the void of course, when the void of course begins. And that last aspect is a square to Neptune this time. The void of course tonight will be 2 hours and 17 minutes, 10:37 Eastern, the moon enters Capricorn. Then the last aspect of this calendar day happens at 20 minutes till 12 when Mercury sextiles Mars. And let me go ahead and give you just the time frame data of the aspect tomorrow that Elise is going to talk about here in just a second. 6:52 a.m. Eastern, the Sun squares Jupiter. Now, before we go to that, let's just talk about today, because Mercury is really kind of the shining star. Not only does Mercury come out of its shadow, but also it has that favorable sextile to Mars. I have the weekly overview video that it actually came out Monday, my mistake, but came out Monday. About this aspect, I used the analogy of if you're a salesperson and you kind of have to poke or nudge or prod your client to say, hey, look, I have something that's good for you. It solves your problem, and it's a fair price, and I can help service it. Let's make a decision here. That's the kind of energy that I'm talking about here. If you need to be a little aggressive, Mars, you can get away with it. Sextile to Mercury. All right, that's in the air today. Tomorrow, Sun, Jupiter, and they are square, and that's why I wanted you to hear from Alisa today.
Hi, Thomas, and hello again to the Fun Astrology Podcast family. Today I'm going to talk to you about the Sun in Virgo squaring Jupiter in Gemini. When I first started thinking about the Sun and Jupiter together in the sky, the first phrase that came to mind here was, go big or go home. Because with Jupiter, we tend to go big. It is the biggest planet after all. Jupiter is the planet of expansion, and it brings great positive energy. It's all about abundance and prosperity and optimism. Generally speaking, Jupiter transits bring good fortune and confidence. But there can also be too much of a good thing. Don't forget what the Sun represents. The Sun is how we shine. It's our personality, our essence, our ego, our vitality, our will to do what we want to do. When the Sun gets together with Jupiter, we are on top of the world. We are confident. We get a burst of optimism and energy. We believe we can do anything. But since Jupiter and the Sun are in a square, even though we feel like we can do anything, that doesn't mean that we should do anything. This energy could show up as overconfidence, overdoing, and extremes in general. This could be the energy of too much, of going over the top. And let's think about where Jupiter is right now. It's in Gemini, a social air sign, very busy, very curious about gathering and spreading information. And the Sun is in Virgo right now, which is a practical earth sign. Virgo also likes information, but the difference is Virgo is more interested in analyzing it and going deeper into the details. And one last interesting piece here is that both Gemini and Virgo are ruled by Mercury, which is the messenger, the communicator. So where might this potentially over the top or extreme energy show up? Perhaps in our communications, whether we are talking, writing, texting, or posting on social media. Of course, that's not the only place you might see this energy show up, but with the Sun and Jupiter in a potentially tense configuration in the two signs but ruled by Mercury, it might be a good idea just to be a little more mindful with our words and the way we use the information we come across. So enjoy this confidence and positivity that Jupiter is bringing our way. Be confident, be optimistic, and you can still go big. Just don't go too big. Thanks again for listening and have a great day, everyone.
Thank you so much, Alisa, and what great comments on an aspect that we're going to be feeling all day and tomorrow for sure. And we will be back tomorrow to talk about that, set up the weekend, and Kristin is going to join us on Friday. So we've just got a good party going on around here this week. Have a good one. I'll see you back tomorrow. Sending love. Bye-bye.